Today, Jack from Jack Sullivan Personal Training based in Connors Quay asked me to do a dish that's fairly quick and healthy for his gym members, so I thought I'd share it with everybody today. It's a very simple dish, very minimal ingredients. It should take around about the time it takes to cook the pasta, which will be around about 12 minutes, so it's a quick supper dish. Like I say, quite healthy, not a great deal of fat or anything going in there. The only thing that probably is going to be the most fatty thing in there is the sausages and the Parmesan cheese. Everything else is pasta, tomatoes, and all cooked very, very simply. So to get started, we're going to put the pasta on. I said in my description I was going to use penne, but I had some orecchietti already open in the cupboard, which is called little ears, basically because it's shaped like little ears. That's what I'm using today. This should feed about 2 to 3 people, depending on what size portion you'd like to give. This takes 12 minutes, so I'm going to put that into the rolling boiling water, along with a good pinch of salt. And what I have also got is the rind off the Parmesan. I'm going to pop that into the water as well. That'll give off a lot of flavour. As that can go in the water on a good boil, and we'll put the timer on for 12 minutes. In the meantime, we've got the pork sausages that have got herbs in. I've chosen them ones with the herbs already in there. I've skinned them. So what I'm going to do now is break them up into tiny little meatballs. It's a simple dish. Get them rolled up. That's all we're doing with these now, is rolling them up about a size, what the size of, I don't know, a marble, say. And so you can choose any sausages you like. Vegetarian people, you're more than welcome to have a go at this with a vegetarian sausage. I'm not very familiar on the best ones out there. I have used supermarket ones before now. They might not give the same texture as what a real meat sausage would do. Or another substitute a lot of people have done this dish with before is just popping mushrooms instead. As a different texture. I know it's not a meat substitute as such, but it's another way of doing this dish. I was going to put some mushrooms in this today, but yesterday when I went and nipped to the shops, I wasn't keen on what they looked like. I wanted something really fresh. So roll up your meatballs up. I've chosen 4 large sausages. This should cover 2 to 3 people, depending on whether you have it as a main or a starter or just as a snack. 6 small chipolata sausages would do the same. Like I say, if you get a plain one, add a few herbs in yourself. I'd recommend oregano, dried basil, or just general mixed herbs will be good. Okay, this is probably the hardest part of the job, is rolling the sausage meat. And like I said, this will make about 6 to 7 meatballs per sausage. So you can see how quick this is. The meatballs are already formed, ready for going in the pan in a second. And all you're doing is in a normal frying pan, which I've got on my hob, you're going to put a little bit of oil in. Olive oil if you like, or just general frying oil. You'll save your olive oil if it's an expensive one, don't bother using too much. Let's give my hands a quick wash. And then I've chosen some plum cherry tomatoes, which will form part of the sauce. So we're just going to cut them in half. So just plum cherry tomatoes, sliced in half. We'll get them in the pan pretty soon. They will start releasing the juices, and that forms part of the sauce. Now I mentioned I'm doing a Parmesan and pasta water sauce. It's just something I did a few months ago. I tried it out one night and it was a little bit different. I didn't have any such to make a fantastic sauce. I thought I'd just try that, and it worked really well with this dish. So that's the main job done. Tomatoes and the meatballs rolled up. We'll get a pan on. There we go. Some oil in the pan. I said this dish takes as long as it takes for your pasta to cook. And remember, I put a little bit of rinding off the Parmesan, just adds a little bit of flavour into the water. Not essential, it's just that it was grated all the Parmesan ready for the dish. So we decided to keep it. It's about a third of a block of them triangles that you get from the supermarket, so that's all I've used there today. So we've got some oil in the pan. Let's start adding the meatballs. Just roll them in. And they'll start releasing the fat as well, and that becomes part of the sauce. Pasta's cooking away. I've got some pine nuts there as well. You could pop some pine nuts in if you wanted to. I'm not going to today, I'm just going to keep it simple. Store covered ingredients I've used. This is why I chose this dish. I say there's probably 2 for the main. About today, I'm going to have this as my meal. Tracy's having something else. I don't know what she's having, but she didn't fancy this today, so I'm going to have this as my meal. So this will probably do me for 2 days, because it's quite nice cold as well. You could, if you wanted to make more of a sauce, you could add some tomato, a little bit of tomato paste, or a little bit of passata if you've got any in. Get some colour on them meatballs now. And I'll start to put a little bit of seasoning. Not going to put a lot of salt in, mainly because we've got the parmesan going in. The parmesan gives off quite a lot of salty flavour itself. But we'll put a twist of pepper. If you wanted to, you could add some garlic to the pan, or some garlic paste even. So they're cooking away quite nice. At the same time, I'm going to pop the tomatoes in as well. I want the tomatoes to start releasing their juices. So as they get to a stage where there's colour on the meatballs, I'll show them to the camera for you. While they're doing that, I'm going to get yourself some fresh basil chopped up, ready to go on top of the dish. Again, you choose your own herbs. If you like fresh oregano, if you just like chopped parsley. If you're doing these with lamb meatballs, nice bit of mint would be nice. I haven't done it with lamb before. The lamb's a bit fatty, but it's something I think you could try. Certainly try with some lamb meatballs. Pop a little bit of mint on them, or in the mint itself. I'm sorry I didn't do one last week. There are various jobs on in the house to try and get done. So I didn't bother doing a live dish. And I hope that those who watched me doing the simple eggs have all had a go making the frittata, how to poach an egg and how to scramble an egg. I'm sure we've all had a go at them and maybe had various successes. Okay, so that's the basil chopped, ready for the finish of the dish. Okay, you can hear that sizzling away. Turn my extraction on a bit higher. If you've seen on Facebook the last couple of days, I did a little bit of sourdough. Come out really well. I've been struggling to find some quality flour. Just a quick something in between to fill in. These are my starters, growing quite well. Fed this one about an hour ago in that line. It's grown that much already, so if anybody's interested in sourdough, I may give me secrets away on that in a few weeks' time. We'll see how we go. The result with the sourdough was absolutely fantastic. In fact, I'll just go and grab a little piece of it. So what I'm going to do at the end of this dish is I might cut a piece off, fry it in the juices off this pan and serve it with the dish. Okay, so just keep moving that around the pan. At part of the stage, you see where we're up to. I've got 6 minutes left, it's about right. Part of the stage in this, I'll start adding some pasta water to the dish. And what the pasta water does is start to create a sauce. I have got a backup here, which is still some of the base of my sourdough pizza that I made the other day, so I might put a little bit of that in if the tomatoes aren't giving off a great deal of juice. We'll see how we go though. I'm trying to do this without that. Okay. Just keep them moving around in the pan. But you don't want them to burn obviously, but you want the heat there so the tomatoes begin to give off their juice. The tomatoes starting to break down. Let's see how far away the sausages are from being cooked. Okay. Yeah, still a further way to go, 40 odd degrees there. So by the time the timer goes off and the pasta's cooked, they should be perfect. I'm just going to add 1 little teaspoon of this tomato in. The tomatoes are certainly not giving a great deal of juice off, so just that. That's all. Just that little bit, no more. Okay. And now this is where it gets a bit interesting. Touch of pasta water. And what that will start to do is start to form a sauce. I'll bring the pan over. As you can see, that's starting to form a bit of a sauce already. Because you've got the water from the pasta that's give off a little bit of its, obviously it will thicken, don't want that, don't I? Want the pepper. It'll thicken as it heats up. A little bit more pepper, and now we'll start adding parmesan a bit at a time. So, in with some parmesan. Every time you add a bit of parmesan, add a touch of water. Okay. I'll just show you again how the sauce is starting to form. Sorry if the steam blocks the lens a little bit.
Simon Custom says, can you open the window so we can have a whiff?
Hi Simon, you okay? Who's watching out there, Tracy? Can you tell me who's watching?
Yeah.
I'll just cut a piece of this sourdough bread.
Rob across the road.
Alright Rob, you alright? Having a hard day at work?
Sonia Fowkes.
Hi Sonia.
Lorraine Lawrenson. Nancy drying it.
Hi Lorraine, hi Nancy. There's some sourdough that I made just today, so I'm going to finish that off in the pan as a bit of toasted bread, but more like a fried bread.
Natalie's watching as well. She said she wants to be first on the sourdough list.
Natalie loves it. Hi Natalie. Hope your bread was okay Saturday. Okay, it's starting to thick, go down a little bit that sauce, so again we start adding parmesan. So this is your sauce basically, a little bit of tomato, lots of parmesan cheese, and just the water of your pasta, so it's pretty healthy for Jack's lot at the gym there. I'm sure you can do this dish.
Lynn Lane says hiya.
Hello Lynn, hope you had a nice birthday yesterday. I think it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Again, season as you go with the pepper. Don't even look at the salt. We've got the salt from the parmesan rind in with the pasta, so that's going to give off some salt. I'm not going to add any more to that now. I just want it to thicken up. Anybody who's cooking along, if you're following me cooking along, I'm sorry if I've gone a little bit quick, but it is a quick dish. The meatballs are nearly there, they're on 60 odd degrees. We're looking around about 76 to 78 degrees, and I've got 2 minutes left. So my timings are pretty good.
Joanne says hello.
Hello Joanne, that's my sister, I would imagine. Yes?
Yeah.
Joanne, my sister, yeah. Okay, we've got a bowl for the pasta to go in, so just simple, nothing fancy. The dish to go in. This is reducing right down. I'm going to maybe put a little bit more parmesan in now. And we will put parmesan in at the end.
Natalie said the bread was fab and Blodwin was very happy with her bread as well.
Very good. Minute left on the pasta. I've got my sieve ready to pour the pasta, to drain the pasta. I bring that back. We've got a lovely sauce there. Some tomato, a little bit of tomato, passata, parmesan and water. That is it. So a great, really healthy sauce. There's no cream involved, things like that. That's not the desired effect we're going for. Okay, that's the pasta done. I said I chose orecchiette. You can choose whichever pasta you like. It does go well with pastas like this. Not really your
Gareth said it's thirsty work, this.
spaghetti. Hi Gareth. Okay, so pasta in the dish. The parmesan has stayed in the pan. Give it a stir around. There we go. We're going to do a last flourish of seasoning. Hi Gareth, you're enjoying yourself having a beer there watching this? I'm sure you're not. Having a beer, I mean. Last flourish of parmesan. Turn that gas off. Pour it into your dish.
Nancy said, can she come for tea on the drive?
So as you can see, it's quite a big bowl, so there's probably enough there for 2 people. I'm going to put the pan back on. I'm not going to waste them juices. If it decides to come back on. Doesn't want to come on.
Oh, technical error.
There we go. I'm going to put the pan back on. I'm going to add some olive oil into the pan.
Hi, Sean.
Sourdough bread into the pan. A little bit of oil on the top. While that's getting hot, we'll do our basil. And as you can see, we've got a nice rich sauce all the way around that. All your pasta's covered, which is what it's about. Remember, with most pasta dishes, it's not all about lots of sauce, it's just covering everything. I can tell you now it smells brilliant. I'm really happy with that.
Sheldon said he think a drop of ale would go well with the sauce Gareth could leave to someone on your doorstep.
Yeah. You could use a bit of beer in the sauce if you want. It is just liquid. That'd probably be different. Probably a nice dark beer would go quite well with this. Just going back to the meats you could use turkey mince if you want to keep it really, really healthy. Actually, trying the lamb with some mint to it, totally different dish again. Pork, as in we've got the pork sausages. I wouldn't go out and buy sausage meat. It tends to be a little bit too fatty for this type of dish. Just turn that over. Got a nice colour on that now. Okay. So we don't want to waste any of the flavour in that pan. And this is a 1 fork spoon, whichever one you want. I'll have a little taste. You've got to trust me, but it is absolutely stunning. Simple flavours. Yeah. Okay. We're just going to take a bit of the fried bread. Not quite toasted enough yet. Want to get it crispy on the other side.
Hey, Robs.
Who's that?
Robin.
Hey, Robin. Okay, I'm going to show you the last bit of the dish, which is there. I just cut through one of those meatballs just to show you that they are cut through. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to go a bit more parmesan on that. We'll pull that off now. Bit of fried bread. Bon appetit. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.